when you design and build a garden, it looks great when it first goes in, but it's got to get better over time as it matures, and it's very similar to a relationship. But the only way you do that is with maintenance and keep working at it and be in it and focus on it and all that sort of stuff.
Hello, I'm Brahe-Daddo. Welcome to Separate Bathrooms. We'd like to acknowledge the Gadigal People of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of this land, and pay our respects to elders both past and present. Good afternoon, Dad.
Good afternoon, LED. How's it going?
It's good.
I was just thinking with our guests coming in today, they work together.
Yes.
They do. And they are in the home improvement world. Mm-hmm. We love home improvement.
Love.
We've lived in about 15 homes.
Far too many. I don't know. I've lost count.
Since we've met?
A lot.
Yeah. When we do changes, are you into the interior or the exterior? Which do you favour more?
Probably, I think, I love them both, but I do love... we haven't owned a house for a very long time where we've been able to change the interior, but when we have...
Bloody hell. We got the age in.
Yeah.
You stick a nail in the thing? No. Okay.
Yeah, right. But when we have, it's been so exciting when you take a wall out or you punch a hole in the wall to make a window somewhere. Or I just love those things. I love them so much, changing colours on the walls, and I love that. But then, you've normally done the exterior, like the garden stuff. Like I can sometimes come up with good ideas and you do it. Like I might be the ideas person and you go, I can do that. I can build that. I can make that. And you have. And it's been awesome.
I think one of my favourite outdoor projects was the secret gardens that we put in our homes for the kids.
Fun.
Just creating a secret entrance that no one, and then it would open up to a
the
little
blackberry tree and with all
the mulberry tree. The mulberry tree that
the
kids could sit under and eat the mulberries.
Fantastic.
I know where you've been, River. These purple hands and purple face.
Would you consider yourself a green thumb then?
Well, sometimes, not with indoor plants. You're the green thumb indoor planter. I would say
barely. I'd say the green. I'm a green tip. I wouldn't say I've got the whole thumb yet. I'm still learning my indoor plants.
Yeah, no, yes, yeah, but you're better at it than I am. I'm pretty good at killing indoor plants, but outdoor plants I really enjoy. That was something that Mum, used to drag us outside and pay us 50 cents to follow her along from the veggie patch and pick up the weeds.
Yeah, I'd say you have a green thumb.
Yeah,
I would describe
do,
that.
and it's all. You know this about me. When I'm feeling stressed, the first place I go to is either to a guitar or the other one is to the garden to hack a bush apart.
Yeah, see, that makes me nervous when you're upset and you've got pruning shears. I'm like, stop, or else we'll end up with a stump, and that's it.
Because it's usually when I'm feeling out of control.
Yes, and you want to control it.
I want to control something, And if there's something to be pruned, look out if I'm not happy.
Well, our guest today is, one is quite a renowned landscape designer, and the other is a qualified interior designer, stylist, and author, actually.
Yep, we were introduced to Charlie Albone and his wife Juliet Love through their work on TV. You can find them both on Better Homes and Gardens, but that has to only be part of the story.
Correct. Let's have a chat with Charlie and Juliet.
Welcome, Charlie and Juliet, to the bathroom. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
It's the nicest looking bathroom I've seen.
It is, isn't it?
Different to a normal bathroom.
We might need an update from you, Juliet. We'll see if we can get a reno.
People love you too. You're very cool, very easygoing. Plus, you're helping people make their lives better on telly. We've heard of companion planting. Are you guys like, the human version of this?
We like to think so. And thank you for calling us cool. I don't think I've been called cool in a while.
But you're so laid back and easy, like chilled.
I have been called laid back before.
Yeah, but he's very laid back, yeah. But we met working together, so it's kind of always been natural for us to kind of work together, and then of course the romance blossomed. So work and live together. So
well, it sounds a little bit like it's a bit of a Mills and Boon romance in the sense of like he was a gardener and she was an interior designer and they've met and now they're on a TV show. Like it's very
inside meets outside.
It's so cool. I love it. So creative too.
It wasn't quite that way.
so run us through that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So I think Juliet needs to tell her story first, and then I'll come in with my of what really happened afterwards.
I love
There
that.
are two versions
It's
of this.
amazing how many couples do that same thing where they go, "You tell your version, then I'll tell the truth."
Yeah.
We often hear that.
So our very first meeting was for I did a screen test with Charlie for a show for the Lifestyle Channel, and he had already been doing TV for a few years. I'd never done TV. I was so nervous. I didn't know what I was doing. A girlfriend of mine had said to me, "Oh, you should go for this," and anyway, off I went. And I'd been preparing, and the whole point was the cameras were on us to see whether there was any dynamic between us. And I got there, and Charlie arrived and hardly opened his mouth. I could not get 2 words out of him for the whole time. And so then I remember driving away from that, and I thought, that guy is so rude. He didn't, he gave me no opportunity to sort of get the job and was just not, he just gave me nothing. He was just, not friendly at all. And then, anyway, somehow I ended up getting the job. And what's your version of it?
There might be a reason for that, though, Julia.
So I was, I'd been signed on for this show, and they were like, we're looking for a host, and here's who we're thinking of. It was like the original Tinder. And
swipe, swipe, no swiping.
Apart from, I think in Tinder you got to get someone to swipe back. Anyway, so I saw this picture of Juliet and was like instantly like, wow, that's amazing. I think I'm in love.
Yeah.
But then thought felt myself getting nervous, so I thought, what's the best way to deal with nerves? Make sure you go with a stinking hangover, because then you can blame the hangover if it all goes wrong. So I did that.
But what were you doing in an audition? Wasn't it a chemistry test?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
You did it with a hangover?
I was really.
Wow.
I was really nervous.
Wow.
I was really nervous. So I had a few too many drinks beforehand. But I think it was all part of the master plan because it worked, right?
Yes, clearly.
Yeah.
But I was unimpressed to start with, and then he made up for it.
But then you can redeem yourself. There's a redemption story, and everything's wonderful.
See, I thought you were going to say I had a girlfriend, and there was no way that we were at work, and what am I supposed to do?
No.
But clearly not. You were hungover because it was like cooling your jets literally by drowning yourself.
So what happened after that? You obviously got the job.
So then I got the job. Oh, well, actually,
there must have been
continued.
some spark there.
Yeah.
So then the producers would, randomly, I don't know why, the producers would pick us up in the morning before the shoots, and Charlie would get into the back of the car. I'd be in there first. He'd get in the back of the car and I'd be like, "Hi, Charlie." Still wouldn't talk to me.
I was nervous. I wasn't hungover the second time. No. I'm not a raging alcoholic.
Come on,
and then we did a few episodes, and after that, and Charlie's a very kind person, and that really struck me because I had no idea what I was doing. He would come up and sort of say, "Oh, do you need some help with this?" And he was great. So I realised what a nice person he was after that, and that perhaps he might have just been a bit shy. And then he asked me out on a date, and the rest is kind of history. Yeah.
Nice. How long into the shoot were you before you asked for the
Well, I snuck
date?
a sneaky date in there.
Okay.
So there was the Astra Awards, which I don't think are on anymore, like Foxtel's Logie Awards.
Okay.
And I said I didn't have a partner at the time, so I said to Foxtel, I was like, "Oh, well, I would have a +1. It'd be nice if Juliet would come on there." Oh, what a nice thought. And that was, I was like, "You should come to these awards." And I thought it was a date, but she didn't.
Look at this team player.
And then
Foxtel team player.
Yeah, I did it for the better good. And
Yeah.
and then yes, it happened.
So,
Yeah.
back when you first met, the audition thing, did you have other girls that you were doing this chemistry testing with for the TV show?
No.
They had no chance.
No, I didn't actually get to the point of having a screen test with anyone else.
Right.
Because
think
I was
they
looking
had-
at them and I was like, no.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
you were
Charlie.
literally pushing the paper off the desk.
Yes, that was the swipe. Swipe,
exactly.
Swipe. Nah,
Yeah,
it's only
nah.
Juliet.
Old school
Bin
swiping.
it,
Yeah.
shred that. Ooh, I'll have that.
What a great story, though. I love that that's how you guys met, that you were put in as a chemistry test and and
there was no chemistry.
Well, there was for you.
It just took a minute for us to,
So how long till the proposal, and walk us through how you proposed?
That was quick.
Very quick. Yeah, I think once we knew, you know what they say, when you know, you know. Yeah. That was very true for us. And I think it was timing as well. Like, relationships are all about timing, and we just met at the perfect time.
Yeah.
And I think, how long was it before we got engaged? Like 10 months or something?
Yeah, it wasn't long. I went and saw your dad in his office to ask, because you have to ask for the father's hand. And
well, you don't actually have to, but it's a nice thing to do.
It is a nice thing.
It is, yeah.
And I did that at about 8 months, and then it took me another 2 months to try and organise actually proposing to Juliet. So Juliet's mum and dad were freaking out about
They thought Charlie changed his mind.
Yeah.
Wasn't going to go through
it.
with
It wasn't well organised.
Remember that video? Charlie bit my finger. Charlie changed his mind.
Yeah.
Hey, so what did your folks think, mate? Because you're obviously from a different country. You're from the UK.
Yep.
How are they still there?
Well, my father passed away when I was 15, but my mum just loves Juliet, so she'd come out and met her, and it was absolutely fine with all of it. Loved it, of course.
Was it unexpected that you were, after 10 months, that you were proposed to, or were you?
Yeah, it was. Charlie's very romantic, and which his friends, whenever I say that, all find hilarious. But
because they know the real Charlie and he's not.
Yeah, well,
I'm not romantic to them, so they don't see that.
They don't see that side. But he took me away to the Kangaroo Valley for the weekend, and I had no idea that it was going to happen. And actually, quite a funny story. Again, we stayed in this really lovely little manor house, and then we drove into this lovely water. What is it called? Like a watering hole, in the bush. And someone had told Charlie about it, and it's really picturesque. There was no one else there. And so we swam out. He said, let's swim out to this rock in the centre of the water. I was like, that sounds really nice. And he took his backpack with him, took his backpack through the rock. I'm like, what is in that backpack? What is he doing? And anyway, we got on, arrived at the rock, and then he takes the ring out of the backpack. So that's why he was,
But because I was so nervous again, I'd forgot to fuel up the car. So then when we got back to the car, I realised that the fuel was well below empty, and we almost ran out of fuel on the way back.
I think you're going to say I was so nervous it was full of scotch.
And we were on this bush road where there was nothing for miles. So we were very fortunate. And there was no mobile reception. So we would have really...
That would have been a better story.
Yeah, that would have been a better story. We had to walk.
Yeah, that would have been yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I pushed the car with my new engagement ring on. Yeah. And you chose the ring all on your own and did, well done.
Yeah.
Well done you.
Went and designed it and did all of that stuff, so yeah.
Oh,
Charlie's got a really good eye. He's very creative,
yes, that does not surprise me. Yeah.
And so, how long till your kids come? Or till it's Leo and
Hart? Yeah.
And Hart.
So Leo, we had about 2 years after we got married, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Leo came along 2 years after we got married, and then Hart another 2 years after that. So they're 8 and 10 now. I can't believe it. They're getting so big.
9 tomorrow and 11 in a week.
True.
Oh, little Scorpio boy.
Little two Scorpios.
Yeah,
and we're both Leos, and I am surrounded by Scorpios, and I just don't know.
Interesting.
Because Leos and Scorpios aren't
Does it
supposed
mean
to
anything
be.
to you?
Doesn't mean nothing to me.
Oh yeah, it does.
Clearly, it means something to you.
Yeah. My mum's always been into astrology, so
yes.
Oh, your mum? Is she an astrologer?
She's a Scorpio as well.
Wow, Ellie's a Scorpio.
Oh, you're a Scorpio. Okay.
Dude, we're surrounded.
Oh, my
by
two
them.
best friends from school are both Scorpios. My children are Scorpios. Got Scorpio friends at work. Yeah.
Isn't that funny how that works? I have a lot of Pisceans. One of my best friends is, Cam is, his brother is, and Pisceans and Scorpios get along really well.
Yeah.
Supposed to be the number one match in the
very compatible
in the cosmos or whatever it is.
And Leo's a bit notorious for, which is in a good way, but sort of being on show, being very proud of themselves, but they're actually often entertainers are often Leos, from what I understand, because they like the attention.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
And they do say as well that Leos together romantically don't work that well because they're often competing for the
for the sparkly
spotlight,
stuff.
for the spotlight. Exactly. But I think Charlie and I sort of have always, I don't know, we just let each other shine in our own ways, I guess. Yeah.
So tell us about that then. So having the kids, how did that change, or did that change your relationship?
Oh, it definitely changes the relationship, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
I think no one can prepare you for being a parent. It's the most amazing thing, but of course, it's your focus now is the child. So the relationship gets sort of put to the side a little bit, and so I realised after a few years after I'd had the kids, I was like, well, you've really got to spend that time working on your relationship, because it's not just going to magically happen and magically be amazing. Like, we're pretty fortunate; we have a pretty good connection, but if even so, I think you still have to work at it, don't you? Like,
sure.
You have to put in. You've got to kind of keep dating, I guess, keep romancing each other,
and try and come up with conversation that isn't about the kids.
Yes.
Let's go on a date. And then, I wonder how the kids are. Do the kids do we need to do this for the kids?
It's crazy, isn't it, that we still do that when we go out. It's like the first sort of half hour we talk about the children. Like, okay, let's find another topic.
Yeah, but I think that's important. That's the check-in time, because often if you are at home and you got little kids running around, it's really hard to sort of get that moment by yourself where you can go, okay, what's happening with each of them, and you sort of do that. So we used to, I remember when our kids were younger, it was go out and we go, okay, well, look, let's have 20 minutes of talking about the kids. Let's get that off the thing first, and then we'll dive into my work. Let's talk about me, Cam. And we do that for the next hour, and then our so can we talk about me? Oh, look, we have to go.
Got 5 minutes,
I'm glad you told the truth on that, honey. I'm proud of you. Well done, you.
It's better to call bullshit than myself than you have a call. Oh, that's a load of crap. Oh, here we go again.
Did you pre-kids? Did you guys were you a bit adventurous? Did you go on any adventures together, or have you done that since having the kids?
We did, didn't we? We went to Thailand.
Yeah, we travelled a fair bit before we had the kids, which was good.
Yeah.
But having said that, we have also travelled a lot with the children.
Yeah, we do travel with them.
When the kids were young, Charlie did a couple of Chelsea Flower Show gardens, and so that's quite involved. So we had to be over there for a few months, and I just took the kids and I came along with him, which was amazing.
Oh, literally in Chelsea, England.
In London. Yeah,
just Airbnb'd a place and lived there for a couple of months.
What does that mean, doing a flower show? What does that entail
so
for you?
You design a garden that is 22 metres by 11 metres wide, and you have to go over and build it, and you get about 21 days to build it, and then the show is 5 days, and then you have to rip it all down again, and it's all done. So you're basically living in London, but you're working from 7 a.m. till 9 o'clock at night on every day.
And do you put seeds? I'm sorry to be.
So you have to
do you have to put seeds in, or are they already flowers that are
So you'll
established?
buy probably £100,000 worth of plants that go into a garden, and that's kind of the standard amount you spend. And you're buying everything from fully advanced trees all the way down to And because the show's only there for 5 days, so you have to build a garden that looks like it's been there forever.
Yeah.
So it has to be mature plants.
Is it an actual competition?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've won it, right?
No, I would love to say I have, but I haven't won the Chelsea Flower Show.
Very close twice.
Very close.
Have you?
Yeah.
You've placed then?
Silver gilt.
Yeah.
That must be amazing.
It's an amazing feeling. It really is. Yeah.
Good on
How
you.
many people compete in it?
On the big show gardens, I think there's about 10 or 11 of them.
Okay, so it's very specific who they even ask to.
You have to be.
Even that's
you have
an
to,
honour.
send your design and get accepted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not like I've got a TV show in Australia.
Yeah, no.
I'm a
It doesn't work
superstar.
like that.
And
You've tried that.
Don't you know who I am?
Can I get a free makeover?
Come on, man.
And some of the budgets on the gardens are in the millions.
Yeah.
So for these tiny little gardens that are there for 5 days,
Yeah.
they're often sponsored by banks or other institutions.
Yeah, I was
but
gonna say, it can't
over
come
£1
out
million
of your own
pounds
pocket.
often, which is 2 million Aussie dollars.
Yeah.
So
Yours is sponsored by Forex.
Yes.
CUV.
I was lucky that mine were sponsored, so
Yeah.
that's good.
So that begs the question then, if it's only set up for that amount of time and you're putting in mature plants, is there like a long line of English people waiting for hand-me-downs of like pulled out plants
So
at the end?
at the very last hour and a half, they ring a bell, and it's called the sell-off, where some people will use all those plants and put them into their jobs because they're designers in the UK. But because we're in Australia, we don't have jobs to put them in. So we're all into the sell-off. People come up and they're like, how much for that? And you're like, £5, and you literally rip it out and give it to them, and they throw cash at you. So like the first time I had, I think it was about £7,000 cash is what I got back from £100,000 worth of.
Oh, okay.
But I had it stuffed in my pocket so much that my fly had split open, and so my cheese open, and I'm like getting all this money shoved at me. It was great.
You were like a stripper at the bar. Yeah.
Show me the money.
It was amazing.
Oh, and by the way, do your fly up, will you?
You come up
not
to
what I
Juliet
meant.
and be like, I swear it's money for the plants. I swear.
I wasn't wiggling my hips.
It's, so we had these things called tree ferns. So they're sort of 8 foot tall, big fronds on them, massive, heavy things, about 90 kilos. This one guy said, I saw your tree ferns on the BBC and I've got £200. Can I please have one? I was like, yep. He gave me £200. Literally, 2 of us lifted it out and gave it to him. He put it on his shoulder and walked off through the crowd. And I saw him the next year. He went home on the tube with this like 90 kilo tree on his shoulders.
I mean, that's a TV show in itself.
Yeah.
It's like your Antique Roadshow.
Yeah.
Elle loves the English Antique Roadshow shows and all the sells off and how they do the cash transfers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like its own little.
You get what bargains though you'd be getting.
Yeah, because they're beautiful plants. Yeah. And it's really good fun. Everyone's kind of in a good mood at the end of the show.
And you've spent so much time building this thing, you kind of just rip it apart in an hour and a half, and you turn around and it's destroyed. So you're happy to kind of pull it apart. Whereas sometimes you get a bit drawn to it, and if you don't do the sell-off, you're like, I don't want to take it apart. Like I put so much effort into it. But
it's a little bit like that beautiful Tibetan tradition where they do the sand mandala, and it's so intricate and beautiful, and then the whole point is then you just sweep it all away and start all over again. It's a little bit like that in a way. So,
Juliet, let's talk about your work for a second.
Yeah.
So, how do you you're working as a interior designer and on the show with your man?
Yeah, so I'm the decorating presenter on Better Homes and Gardens, and have been for about 3 years. But prior to that, I'm a qualified interior designer, but I've had a pretty diverse career. I actually started off in magazines. So I was with Vogue Living magazine when I first started, and it was an amazing experience, such great training. And I actually left there and went and studied interior design because I knew that that was really what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I think it was actually when I was really little, probably, that I thought that I might want to go into decorating, because my grandmother had this beautiful home with lots of green and pinks, like we were talking about before. And every time I walked in there, I sort of was overcome with joy, and I just loved the space, and I realised what an impact your surroundings can have on you. So I thought, if I can create beautiful environments for people to live in, that's kind of what I wanted to do. So mostly interior styling has been my background.
And you've done on the show, you actually do like you create some things, like you make some, not furniture, but like shelves and stuff like that. Did you have to learn that on the job, or were you already a handy person anyway?
Well, this is...
Charlie's going, what?
So I can fluff a cushion really well, but to be brutally honest with you, the tools are not really my thing. And funnily enough, before I started on Better Homes, so Tara Dennis left, who'd been there for years, and they asked me to go in and, again, do a screen test. And I said, Charlie, what am I going to do if I've got to use all these tools and I don't know how to use them? So he's like, okay, I'll give you some lessons. So I was using drills and all sorts of things. And then at my screen test for the show, I was making a bed head. And to be honest, they threw me in the deep end. It was a really long shoot. We had to do... It was a whole room, but multiple projects. And anyway, I'm there are about 25 people there, which is unusual for Better Homes because, usually it's a small crew. And, all the bosses, everyone was there. And
watching you do your thing.
So I was making this bed head as part of this whole room makeover. And I screwed the bed head into the lovely lady's home where we were filming, into her outdoor table, which was a really beautiful timber table.
Easy to do.
And I'm blah, 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 and the camera's on me, I'm da-da-da-da-da, and then I went to lift it up. It was like a comedy sketch. I couldn't lift it up off the table because I'd screwed it into the table below. And
someone sabotaged you and gave you too long screws.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I was definitely thrown under the bus. So anyway, I thought after that, that's it. I'm done for. I'm definitely not getting this job. And then they called me back. So, and I love working on Better Homes, and actually I'm very good with the drill now.
I bet you are. I bet you are.
But making those things is a really fun part of the of the job as well. But I do love the bigger makeovers, like the bathrooms or big,
Sure.
laundry makeovers and stuff as well.
And you guys, I mean, are you on different shooting days? Because you never actually interact on the show. So.
Once a year we get together on the show, and
Yeah,
that's about
right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone always says, "Oh, how is it working with Charlie on the show?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, on that one shoot a year, it's great."
Yeah.
When I first started, I thought they might put us together more, but they keep us.
But we both
separate
understand what it's like to go and do that day's work,
Sure.
which is nice.
Yeah.
And so do the crew sort of go, "Oh, Juliet yesterday, Charlie was you should have seen what he was doing." Do they?
Yeah,
But do you
there's all of that.
they bust your chops that
Yeah,
way?
oh, absolutely. And it's really nice. The crew on Better Homes are just the most beautiful group of people.
Yeah.
They're like a big family. And because the show's been going it's 30 years next year.
Is that right?
For so long. A lot of the crew have been working on it for 20 plus years. So, we feel really fortunate
So
that we've been kind
good.
of welcomed.
And you
in with
couldn't
open
get a
arms.
nicer person than Jo.
Oh, she is divine. When
Isn't she?
Charlie first started, so before
Yeah.
I had anything to do with the show, she asked us over to her house within the first few weeks of him starting, and we had dinner. She cooked dinner for us, and we met her gorgeous husband Todd, and and Charlie's now. You've done a couple of trips with her for the show and spent lots
Yeah, I
of
went to
time
Alaska with her and just got back from Cairns with her. So.
Did you?
She's
Yeah.
great fun, Jo.
Really?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
And a hard worker. And,
Yeah, she's great.
She's just seems like she came to our house and we did a story. Was it during COVID? Was it during COVID?
It was during COVID.
And just so lovely,
close.
and just so when someone's when they come from their heart, and just truthful and
Yes.
enthusiastic and really and curious.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge thing. She's to have.
She's very curious, which
Yes.
is a real attribute, actually. Like, whenever you go away with her, she's always talking to people, finding out information and stuff like that. She's, that's an amazing attribute of hers, for sure.
Yeah.
So how do you make the balance work then? Are you able to balance the work-life, children balance with the both of you working?
Yeah, it's really tricky. And again, Better Homes have been amazing because with scheduling, they try and sort of work it out so that we're not filming on the same days. And that can't always be the case, but most often they try and do that. And on the days when we do have obligations at the same time, my parents are amazing, so they'll step in and help out with the kids.
Oh,
I don't know what we would do actually without them.
No.
My dad lives 5 minutes down the road, and he's always with the kids and picking them up and taking them to basketball training and whatever else.
Yeah.
But it is a bit of a juggle. Like, we do have to
Yeah,
kind
it
of
can be
plan
difficult.
things in advance as much as we can, and and just support
But
each other.
aren't you fortunate that you're both in the same industry, so you have an idea of what's going to go down, even if you're not sure of the details of how it's going to go down, but at least you have an idea of what might be coming down the pike or not.
Yeah, absolutely. We both do both have that understanding, and we're both really supportive of each other, and it's quite nice actually because with work events, a lot of the time we get to go together,
good.
and often a lot of things you're only invited by yourself. So Charlie'd be going by himself, or I'd be going by myself, and so it's really nice that we get to do things like the Logies, for example. Like, that's really fun to go to together.
Take us through a night at the Logies together. How does that? Because I think the last Logies I was invited to was back in the Stone Age.
It was in the 90s.
In the 90s,
Oh, wow,
yes, that's
really?
30 years. Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
voted worst dressed at the Logies.
Oh,
Were you?
no.
This is really sad.
How evil.
They don't do that
You
anymore.
were in one
Can't
of your
be right.
bridesmaids dresses, weren't you?
wore one of my bridesmaids dresses.
She nicked it back off her sister. Said, I'll take that.
It was real cute at the time. Apparently.
How rude.
So, not that I remember it at all, but go ahead.
So how is it just for our listener who will probably never go to a Logies, and for me, so I can remember what it was like. And a Logie was.
Yeah.
Is it fun?
It's so
Yeah,
fun.
it is
Charlie
good fun.
spends hours getting ready. I have to
I
wait
really
for him.
do, yeah.
Like hours and hours doing his hair.
I use all of the 10 minutes that I've been
Yes.
allocated in the bathroom
Yes.
to get ready.
Allocated, that's right.
Yeah.
No, but it is really fun. This year was great because they did the after party was awesome because they had all the networks in together, and usually prior to that it was always everyone would kind of disperse and go to their own. And this year it was an all-in thing, so that was
They had
really
like two
good fun.
rooms. They had like a dance room and a hip-hop room.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was good.
Yeah,
And
people were saying, why didn't you dance like that on Dancing with the Stars, you idiot? You would have got voted out first. I was like, yeah!
Did you get voted out first?
Yeah.
So did I.
Ah.
High five.
It's rigged. It's rigged.
Totally
guys.
rigged.
Better
So
than
They
that.
get all the best ones first. That's what they
That's
do.
right.
Yeah.
That's what it
obviously.
is. That
Yeah.
the hardest competition is,
Yeah.
they get rid of you guys.
Well, I think they should, rather than doing all stars, do like the opposite and bring the people that got voted out first.
Oh, the first timers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Miguel,
Love that idea.
Miguel,
Yeah.
Mastro would
Yeah,
be there.
yeah,
You,
yeah.
me. I don't know
Kill
who
it.
else, but that would be
that's
fantastic.
a great idea.
It's a great idea.
I
Yeah,
love
that actually would
redemption
be-
story.
No one wants to see like.
Dancing with the Stars Redemption.
Yes.
How entertaining
Would you
would
do
that
it?
be?
I would watch that.
I don't know if I'd do it right now because it's just finished, but I think I probably would. I'm a sucker for. Yeah, I'll have a go.
Okay. What about? Okay, this show's just come off air recently. I'll put this out to both of you. SAS. Could you do that?
Look, I wanted to
Did
start
you?
with, but then I've cooled off it.
Why?
Cooled off the idea because I spoke to too many people that did it.
Yeah. And are
Yeah,
they
yeah.
seriously injured for life from it? Or are they...
Some people are quite injured from
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't have anything to prove like that anymore.
Yeah.
Like I just thought, it'd be quite good to test yourself, but then the more you hear about it, you're like, I don't really need to
Yeah.
do that.
I think I would struggle with the bag over my head.
Yeah.
And someone holding onto my thumbs
and
dragged along.
Ant Middleton's such a nice guy. Like I've met him a few times. He's a great guy.
Yep,
and then
yep.
having him yelling in your face, the whole
I
time,
know.
put you down would just be, I'd probably laugh or something. And then I'd have to do
It,
push-ups.
it
all night
must
long.
be quite confusing emotionally to do that show when you've got on one hand there's Ant being very kind to you.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the big meeting when they sit across the table and
Yeah.
wonder what your dark story is.
Yes.
And then they're all supportive. And then 3 minutes later, he's getting you up at 4 a.m. and
know.
screaming at you and kicking dust in your face.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, hang on, where's that nice guy that was on the side of the table?
Yes. Yeah, I think the fear of something always happening in that show would be the worst part of it.
Yes.
Never knowing what's going to happen.
Yes.
Like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Like I spoke to James Magnuson because he did Dancing with the Stars as well, and he was saying he would just wake up in the night just freaking out because they would come in and start banging stuff and then walk out, and he wouldn't know if he had to do something or not. So it really freaked him out. So yeah.
Wow.
And I feel like every season they have to do something a bit more dramatic. So it's getting more and more. We
Yes.
love watching the show. We absolutely love it. But I feel like it's, they try and make it more and
You
more.
should do it, Jet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would last all of about 5 minutes, I think.
It'd be me too.
I mean,
That's all right, just
I
get
like
paid
to
up
think
front. And then
I like to think that I'm pretty tough, but I don't know.
I'd be like having to sleep in a room with men snoring. I'm like, I'm out. I'm like, done. Sorry. I can't sleep. You're snoring. That's it. Send me home. I'm a pseudo celebrity that needs my sleep. Get me out of here. Speaking of challenges, I know you've talked, Juliet, you've mentioned before in the press about your diabetes. How has that affected you and how are you doing with that today?
Yeah, thanks for asking. It's really well managed now. So I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes just after we had our second son, which must be about 9 years ago because tomorrow he's turning 9. It was a massive shock, came out of nowhere, had no family history of any kind of diabetes at all. And they had thought it was gestational diabetes,
Yeah.
which is really common now. But then it didn't go away after I had him. So pretty life-changing. I had to go straight on multiple insulin injections a day. And the thing about type 1 diabetes is it never stops. So it's all day and all night. And there are so many variables with it. So many things can affect your blood sugar level, like obviously what you eat, and then exercise, how much movement you're doing, how stressed you are, what time of the month it is, all of those things, and how much sleep you've had.
which is not great when you add in small children.
Small children.
Yeah.
And Charlie at that time was travelling a lot for work, so he sort of was absent for 9 months of the year. So I was sort of by myself with these little kids. But it was a pretty steep learning curve in terms of like how to manage it.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful and fortunate that Charlie's been amazing from day one. My parents have been amazing. All my friends have been amazing. And I think you need that kind of support network around you to sort of try and not get through it because you never get rid of it, but to just try and get over that difficult part at the beginning where you're just kind of learning about it and what it is. But the good thing is that it's really, the technology now is incredible.
Yes.
I wear a glucose monitor that sends a signal to my phone every 5 minutes, so I know exactly what my blood sugar level's doing. I didn't have that when the kids were little. So if I'd be like pushing a double buggy up the road and all of a sudden feel faint or something, I didn't have the benefit of that. I'd have to stop and prick my finger and find out my blood sugar level that way. So that's amazing technology. So I'm really grateful for that too. And then it's made us all healthier, I think, because I felt like I was quite healthy beforehand. And autoimmune conditions can happen to anyone, anytime. No one knows why anyone gets them. But I decided after I was diagnosed that I wanted to just arm myself with as much information as possible so that the kids and Charlie and I could be as healthy as we could be. So I actually went and studied health coaching and nutrition at a school in New York via correspondence, and that was amazing. So we all eat pretty well and all,
You do manage it very well, though. Better than most.
Yeah, I'm pretty strict with myself about it, and so. But it is a lot. It's a lot, especially for people managing little kids who have it, or and more adults are being diagnosed now. So
What was it that got your attention to?
For the diabetes? Yeah, good question. So some of the signals usually are thirst, being really thirsty, fatigue. Urinating a lot, so having to go to the bathroom more often. But for me, it was I was quite tired, but I put it down to having a toddler in the second pregnancy. So I was chasing after him and still doing a bit of work. And then one day I was driving with Leo in the car, so he was 1 at the time, and all of a sudden I got this really bad migraine, and I had been getting some headaches, and my vision just kind of went. And I was driving in the car. So fortunately I was able to pull over. My mum lived nearby, so I called her straight away, and she came and got Leo and got me, and I went straight to the doctor, and they pretty quickly put it all together. Then they did a blood test and stuff. But usually the signs are the things I said, thirst and having to go to the bathroom more, but I didn't seem to have those. So I think you just have to sort of have regular blood tests and just make sure that your sugar levels are in the normal range.
And to maintain it now, is it just diet, or do you have to do insulin?
So, insulin injections, multiple times a day. So with every meal, and then a long-acting one as well. You can get pumps, of course, and that the technology with those is really advanced now too. But I choose just to self-inject, so I just inject myself for each time, and because the pumps are an automatic thing, so they're sort of connected to you the whole time. But self-inject, it's probably about 4 or 5 or 6 needles a day. I'm really used to needles now.
Yeah, but it's a tricky thing, isn't it? You don't know, like when you can eat one thing one day and have a certain amount of insulin, then do the same thing the next day, and it has a completely different effect. So you could take your sugar higher or lower, which is the tricky part of the management. So
it is a bit of a roller coaster, a bit of a challenge.
So that's why you have to keep measuring your sugar, just in case that happens, what you're talking about, Charlie, where it does change.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how has that been? How have you supported?
Oh, I'm just such a legend.
Yeah, really. Well, we knew that.
I am the best.
Just sit back and watch and go, sweetheart, here's your needle.
Heaps of sugar in my face. Going, look at me, yum, yum, yum.
I only wish you could have some of these.
Just finish this donut.
There have been moments like that where he and the kids will be eating lollies. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to look away.
You do what you can. I mean, you can't help. You feel a bit helpless, to be honest, but you kind of do what you can, help where you can.
And I think, he's being modest, because I think you, maybe even subconsciously, he's more supportive than he thinks, because, sometimes during the night my sugar alarm will be going off and it's really low, which can be dangerous, and he'll sort of say, are you okay? Can I get you anything? Or, we all eat fairly similar food now, and that's something you've done for me, because we, just so that it makes it easier for me.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's things like, because I have a friend who was not that long ago diagnosed as well with type 1, and so she's got salad dressings and sort of things that I didn't think. I just thought, so you can't have sugar anymore. She goes, no, it's this. So it's very kind of specific things as well that I was curious about.
And sugar and carbohydrate, carbohydrates are hidden in so many things.
Yeah.
So you really have to read labels and learn, and that's sort of what led me to that nutrition course.
Yeah, sure.
Because I just wanted to know, well, what's the best thing to be eating? What should I be doing? And from a general point of view too, for the kids and stuff. And so I loved that. And I think as well, because I was a bit like, I said to Charlie, I was unsure before I did it, because it's so far away from interiors. But then I realised, actually, I'm all about well-being in the home. So, and we have lots of houseplants which are amazing. They're more effective than expensive air purifiers. And we do, lots of other things in the house that we've got, a water filter, a whole house water filter and things like that. So they do I feel like they do tie in together, the health coaching and the interior stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
With your gardening, do you have like a herb? Do you do herb gardening and you have vegetables and stuff that you grow and eat? Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, we do all that sort of stuff, but it's difficult to grow enough food for the whole family, especially when you've got 2 young boys that will eat you out of house and home.
And that will only get more.
Yes, but we grow what we can for sure.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
And are they into gardening and to design and things like that?
They are.
Yeah, they're both very creative.
Yeah, they're both creative. The youngest probably a bit more into gardening than the eldest, but they go through stages.
Yeah.
At the moment, life is basketball and all I hear is a bouncing ball non-stop. But then they'll come out and they will help in the garden a bit, won't they?
Yeah. Our little guy, as Charlie said, especially Hart, he is, he's always been a bit of a green thumb. Like he just loves learning about plants, and I'll find him out in the garden just with, a little plant that he's into cuttings at the moment, so he'll take cuttings and grow from those. And our eldest as well, he loves gardens, but probably isn't as hands on, is he? Yeah. But he has a really good eye and he's quite creative. So
yes,
yeah, we'll see.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you guys subscribe to? My mum is a massive gardener, and I know that when she felt like us 4 boys and my sister when we were kids were getting out of hand, she would make us go weed a patch of the veggie garden or something. And it was really just to stick our hands in dirt.
Oh, right.
That's what because it would calm us down. Is that any consideration for you too with the boys?
I'm a bit. It's my garden. Don't touch it.
A bit like your hair.
Because then I'll be like, what are you pulling out? What are you pulling out?
Right. Not that.
Well, don't they have their own patch? Could you give them their own patch of garden?
They could have their own patch, but then you got to do it properly.
At the farm, they definitely get out and get their hands in the dirt and all that. And I'm all about, because we've only got a tiny garden because in Sydney we've got a little semi, so the garden's actually really small. Charlie's done a beautiful job, but it's not a big space. And so the veggie patch is sort of a strip, a little garden bed along the side. But up at the farm, we've got much more space and like big, huge veggie patches, and they definitely get involved up there. And the soil, they say, because kids these days growing up in the city, they don't have the same gut microbiome and all that stuff because our veggies aren't being grown in soil that has all the same nutrients and things in it. So, and they say it's really good for kids to get their hands in the dirt, so I try and encourage them whenever I can. But Charlie's right, he's like, don't touch that plant and don't touch them. Why are you pulling that one out? Yeah.
What are some of the sustainable and eco-friendly things that you both do in your line of work?
Oh, you're well into it, aren't you? I mean, whenever I'm gardening, I think it's you are what you eat. So try and keep organic with all the food stuff that you're growing for sure.
Yeah, and I would say I'm loving seeing less of all this mass-produced furniture, like that's all the same. People are really going back to finding beautiful vintage pieces and kind of making them their own or, giving them a twist that's, unique.
Ali was hitting me on the shoulder when you were saying that about the furniture and old, because that's the way we've always rolled is finding weird things in council chuck-outs.
And you wouldn't believe what some people throw out.
Oh,
I cannot believe
incredible.
People throw out.
I think it makes for a much more interesting space as well when there's a few things that tell a story and have a bit of history about them. So I'm loving that. And I think as well, just making sustainable choices. If you are buying furniture that's new, just make sure it's it's being made from things that are sustainable rather than you don't want to be buying products that are not good for the environment. They're going to end up in landfill,
like fast fashion, furniture,
that's
same thing,
same sort of thing. Yeah.
So what dreams or goals have you both got sort of for the next 5 years?
That's such a good question because I haven't thought about that for a while.
No.
We've both been so busy that I don't know. It just feels like life's been.
Are you goal setters? Do you have vision boards and ever done anything like that? Written stuff out?
I used to be for sure, but I think since I got so busy, I've
never done it.
Stopped. No.
I've just gone. That seems like fun. Let's go do it. Then just work on it until it happens.
Have you got your own product somehow with gardening or anything?
No, I worked with a few companies. So I work with tool companies and potting mix companies. And
I was going to say there's got to be a Charlie shovel or a pick out there, doesn't there? The Albone pick.
So, but no specific products yet. But that is something I would be interested in doing for sure.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Do you guys do goal setting and vision boards and stuff like that, or?
Yeah.
We started again.
I've just started doing a vision board because I have 2 friends that say it works. I'm like, I'm doing it. So, Yeah, and we've got some goals that we're
some out of necessity.
Yeah.
But they're good ones because you feel motivated to cover the necessity goals.
Yes, and how to get to that goal. What steps
I used to
take.
do it early in my career. I used to.
You used to make whole books with vision things.
I did. I'd put the car I wanted, the watch I wanted, whatever you do in terms of advancing yourself or getting better at something. It's why not give it a shot, you know, and stick at it for a while. Because nothing happens very rarely happens overnight, does it? You got
so true.
That's it. That's it. You got to keep going on everything.
I mean, that must be. You must get a lot because I do out of the garden. The idea of you've just got to be patient. You plant it. You got to, and then maintain. And it's sort of a bit like that with relationship.
Yeah.
You know, where you can get a tip or something and work on that. But in order to have a long-standing relationship, maintenance is a huge part of it.
Well, it is. When you design and build a garden, it looks great when it first goes in, but it's got to get better over time as it matures, and it's very similar to a relationship. But the only way you do that is with maintenance and keep working at it and be in it and focus on it and all that sort of stuff.
So question then to maintenance, because look, we started to get into a Barney barn door on the way in here because of the traffic, and I couldn't go any far. I'm not going to bother you with the details, but when you guys get into any kind of disagreement, or how do you work through those?
I normally try and make a joke of it, and that doesn't go down well.
What do we do? I mean, this is going to sound silly, but we don't actually fight that much. Like we're quite sort of harmonious, I guess is the word, in that way, and we never really have. And I remember saying that to one of my girlfriends that I went to school with early on, and she's been with her husband for 20 years or something, and she said, that's not normal. That's not normal not to fight. And I'm like, well, we fight occasionally, but like generally speaking, we don't. But I guess if we do have an argument, we just, I don't know, what do we do? We just kind of talk it out. I think communication is massive in relationships. And my grandparents were married both sets actually were married for over 60 years and had incredible relationships. And my mum's parents, I remember, were always talking and just, respected and loved each other. And that communication, I think, is really important. So if we have a fight, we just kind of talk through it, don't we?
My parents never fought either. So I kind of...
you didn't have the example of seeing what
Mine did. Mine are still really good friends, but they separated when I was about 6, and with good reason. They were complete opposites, but still, like, we have Christmas together every year now and all of that stuff, which is so nice. But they fought a lot. But so maybe I try and not do that.
Speaking of Christmas, do you
and fighting a lot?
Do you
family?
Do you have any specific traditions that you do together, or have something special that you have as a family?
We love Christmas. I love Christmas.
Yeah, you love Christmas more
I do.
than
I'm
most.
the big Christmas person in our family.
Yeah.
So's Elle. She's the holder of the Christmas candle.
It's just everyone's, it's such a gorgeous time of year, and I love decorating the house. I've already started decorating the house.
What, with Christmas decorations?
We're in November, I know.
Have you started with the...
My excuse is that I had to film some stuff for some content for someone the other day, and I needed to have some Christmas stuff up. So I just was like, I'm just going to do it all now. So I just got everything out. I got the wreath for the door. And
people came around, they're like, your Christmas tree's up. It's the beginning of November.
Yeah. Well, Melbourne Cup's gone. Let's get ready.
Let's do it.
So usually it's the beginning of December I would start decorating, but we're a month early, and why not?
Why not?
But Christmas, usually the kids love Christmas, and we usually have, usually have a beautiful real tree and decorate it together. And the one thing that I would say is a tradition is that Charlie loves ice cream pudding, and so I do this Christmas ice cream pudding every year, and that's
that's pretty.
Is that with? Do you have apricots and slivered almonds?
It has dried cranberries. It has pistachios. It has slivered almonds, and then a really yummy pudding which I buy. I don't buy.
And turkey, ham, trimmings.
Yeah, we usually
do pretty big. We normally do a pretty big feast at Christmas.
Yeah.
You just fill yourself up.
Yeah.
Keep pushing it down.
Go to sleep.
You have a bit more.
One more slice of pudding.
The turkey hangover.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Well, we had all of our kids in America, and they're American children. We grew up with the American tradition of Christmas. So we're real turkey people for Christmas. So when we moved back here, and people were like, "It's prawns and oysters," we were like, where's the turkey?
We need a turkey.
It's much easier to eat a turkey on a cold day, I have to say, but we still do it. We still have turkey.
Turkey's awesome.
And people have loved it. Our family have loved our turkeys.
So do you roast a whole turkey?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Cam does it. He's amazing.
So
we had a lot of
Grinds it
practice.
for 3 days beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, we had because we'd have Thanksgiving's the last Thursday of every November, and that's turkey.
Yeah.
And then you have Christmas a month later. So it was 2 turkeys a year for about 20 years. I think we were doing it. So got pretty practiced at it.
Do you still do the Thanksgiving thing?
Well, no, but not as much. No. Though this year my golfing mates have said, "Are we having Thanksgiving at the Daddos?" And I'm like, dude, in America, you get the day off, and we start at 2:00.
You get 4 days off.
Oh, yeah, but the turkey day's Thursday.
Yeah.
So anyway, I haven't spoken to Elle yet about. Wait, did we talk? Are we going to do it?
Yeah, and I said, that'd be great.
Oh, awesome. So that's going to happen.
Love
Yeah,
how
we're going to
you
have
remember these
Thanksgiving this
conversations.
year. So it'll be Thanksgiving. Huh?
I love how you remember these conversations.
So much going on in my brain right now.
All right, let's go to the 2-minute shower.
Let's jump in the shower?
Okay, sure.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. We will ask you a question. Keep your answers short because we like to conserve water. And we want you to both answer the question.
Okay.
At the same time? No, at the same time.
It's radio. We don't overlap.
Of course.
We want to hear you.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, you know that.
I'm new at this, sorry.
What habit does your partner have that you find adorable?
You go first.
Because you can't think of anything. Oh, gosh, what did he do? Oh, gosh. He's just very loving. Like, he's very tactile. He hugs and, yeah.
Your your big toe, flicks up at a right angle without you knowing, and she just walks around with her right angle stuck straight in the air, which is adorable.
Not when I'm walking around, just if I'm
Pretty much all the time. It's like a big erect toe.
Oh my gosh!
Very clever of you,
Charlie's
Juliet.
mum actually noticed this once, and I'm like, she's like, oh, you stick your toe up in the air all the time, and I'm like, what is she talking about?
Yeah.
And I actually I do it all the time.
How interesting.
Very strange.
You subtly trip someone over and go, I'm sorry, it's just my erect toe.
Yeah, you could be flipping them off
no
with your
control
toe
over it.
without really. Yeah. If you could relive one day with each other, what would it be?
Wedding day?
I would say probably the day we got engaged.
Okay.
Yep.
What is it about your relationship that makes you feel grateful?
I'll go first. Charlie's temperament, like he's just always so even-keeled and gentle and kind.
I like the feeling of safety and happiness it brings.
Oh.
Beautiful. What do you miss when you're not together?
I just gorge on sugar.
Yeah.
I can have it.
I miss the companionship, I guess. I've just been away for a work trip and I kind of missed having Charlie there. Because we talk about everything all the time. So I guess I miss that. Yeah.
I miss whenever I'm away traveling with work, like I never sleep very well.
Yeah.
And then I always sleep well when Juliet's next to me. So I miss when we get all cranky when I don't have sleep.
Oh, such sweet answers. Nice. He wants something, I'm sure. Just trying to get my good books.
Have a look at that toe. Whoa.
Bamboo sheets. All right. One word to describe each other.
Loving.
Oh, I was just going to say loving as well. I swear to you, loving is exactly what I was just about to
There
say.
you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that your word too then, Julia?
Loving, yeah.
Loving.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. It was so lovely meeting you both. So thanks for coming in.
Likewise. Thank you for having us.
I love that chat.
That was so lovely.
Juliet, the pink that she was wearing, that's the pink that you like.
I love that pink.
Yeah, you look
Beautiful.
great in that pink.
Thank you. So does Juliet.
Yes, that was really fun.
Yeah.
Great. I love the how sustainable they are as well.
Yes.
I mean, in what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I couldn't help but think when, Juliet talked a lot about Charlie being so kind and calm. And I'm like, if you're working with plants and the earth that much every day and love that part of, the planet that as much as he does, I think, how could you not be calm and kind? And,
Yeah.
You know?
And rooted.
True.
You know?
Grounded, as they say.
Yeah, I love it. Well, we hope you enjoy. I'll speak for you.
Okay, do it.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Separate Bathroom with. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Separate Bathrooms with Charlie and Juliet. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening.